Hey guys, I'm Colwen. I've got another Transformers video. This is Transformers Buzzworthy Bumblebee Cybertronian Bumblebee. And let me go ahead and talk about these real quick. These are his energon rod things. Unfortunately, there's really no place I can figure to store them on him properly. You're just intended to shove them in his arms, kind of like how he was holding a bunch of these in the first episode of the Transformer show. I hope I can learn how to use a 3D printer at some point and figure out some way to make a rack for these. But until then, I kind of just keep them in with my missiles and other stuff. There might be 5 of them, but I remember only having 4. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and straighten him up. And I will bring in my size comparisons. We've got Film Noir Spider-Man. We've got Scourge, Soda Can, and Hubcap. So yeah, Buzzworthy Cybertronian Bumblebee is kind of on the smaller side, which is why they tried to include random parts that you can't really use for anything. I don't know why they could just give him an extra gun or give him some effect parts or something. I don't know. But for his robot mode, it's a really good representation of a Cybertronian robot mode Bumblebee. I don't remember if he had any of this backpack going on here or any of the bulk hanging off of his legs, but like just the main body himself is pretty damn spot on. His accessories, including the little jetpack, the little energon rod things, are this really cool little hollow out jetpack with no paint on it. There is some tech dealing on the inside, and it just pegs right into the port on his back. He's got this decent looking little blaster pistol. And for articulation, his head is on a ball joint, but it's restricted because of the shape of his head. He does have a full 360 swivel up there. He's got universal jointed shoulders at the shoulder swivel, a decent elbow bend, and like the way they position the elbow, it gets kind of a little jinky, but it's I've seen worse. Unfortunately, nothing at the wrist, mainly because of the size and the way it transforms. Very nice waistband. I like the way everything tapers down into the waist section very nicely. He's got universal jointed hips, thigh swivel, very nice knee bend, but then he ends up with that weird kind of floating knee thing. And he's got a ankle rocker there, an ankle rocker there, and then even another one there so you can kind of overextend his foot a bit. All around, he looks really good in his robot mode. He scales pretty well. Like, Bumblebee was always intended to be kind of a smaller guy, so that kind of can't really hold that against him. Let me go ahead and transform him. He is a little finicky to transform, but once you figure it out, it makes a weird bit of sense. First, we're going to come up here to his chest and pull that away. You can see he's got all this cool molded in detailing. Did we get a close look at his head? There's a good look at his head right there. Does he have light piping? No, but I'm pretty sure what they did is they made his eyes a separate piece and then touched them up with some nice silver paint to give a good look up in there. So pull the chest away, flip it up and over his head like that. Come to his back, and you're going to open up his backpack and then flip this part out. There we go. Lay things flat down a bit, and the Autobot symbol and the grill is going to go right between those little pylon bits there. Now let's see here. We need to turn him at the waist. Need to extend out his feet like this. The arms here are going to fold over and inward. And on one arm, there's a slot, and on the other arm, there's a little tab, and those are going to go together right there, okay? Like, pretty much most of his transformation is all down in his legs, because now... Oh, there we go, okay. Yeah, there's a hinge in there that you need to fold down to straighten things all out. This big old chunk of stuff here is going to get ripped clean off. No, you don't want to rip it off. But we do need to hinge it over like this. And the foot lines up there. And that has to line up and tab in there. And then that part opens up. And then we can just swing everything around and over. There we go, and all that goes up. So I'm going to go a little bit slower over here. So we extended out the foot. We fold out this chunk of kibble here. I'm just going to pop that back on the pin there and be lazy about it. Fold out that panel there, and this tab here is going to go inside where that hinge part is in there. You see how that lines up? This panel has to be brought up, and there's a tab and a slot there. And this panel was kind of sitting on the back of his leg like that. That gets brought up like that. And now we position the leg like this, and there's this double joint here on the inside of the knee. That was what gave him such a big, wide knee bend. And the foot is going to hinge underneath this armor cowling, this panel here. You see, like that? And that clips in there. And then the panel that was hanging off the back of his leg is going to clip in under his crotch plate. And those are going to go together like that. And after we kind of squeeze things together and make sure everything's in place, we can go ahead and fly them away. So here we have Bumblebee in his vehicle mode. I'm going to bring in Film Noir Spider-Man and Soda Can, and let's pick up Bumblebee real quick. Yeah, he's pretty thin. We'll get into that in a minute. Let me bring in Scourge and Hubcap. You know, I think that scales fairly well, actually. And, of course, the Siege car robots. His accessories. The weird energon rods don't go anywhere. Again, I'd like to learn some 3D printing and maybe print off some little things to mount on there. But the weapons, you can peg the one right up in there on top. Or I'd rather stick it on the side there. And yeah, it ruins the look, but hey, let's give him a great big old turbo jetpack thing like Jetfire has, right? This vehicle mode is spot on to what we see in the original G1 cartoon. You never saw the underside, but like, it wouldn't surprise you if that's exactly what the underside looks like, where his head's just hanging out there, just has like a panel covering it or something maybe, I don't know. It's a fun little figure. I wish he was priced differently. I don't think he's worth the $25 he was going for, even with the extra energon rods that don't do anything. Like, he should have came with more weapons. He should have came with more stuff. The transformation is fun, a little odd, a little goofy, but like, again, once you figure it out, his legs wrap around his sides and his arms go down the middle. That's pretty much a simple, straightforward transformation. I like it. I'm looking forward to, apparently there's a wheeljack coming out where you'll be able to actually take this dude and do pretty much this. I'm thinking what'll happen is with the new wheeljack is you'll be told to fold up Bumblebee like this, and then you can stick wheeljack in the back, stick Bumblebee in the back of wheeljack in vehicle mode, and that will be really cool. It'll be even better if they come up with some way to put these to use. Give wheeljack like the rack mount or something to store these things with, and I will absolutely buy a wheeljack. I don't care how ugly the robot mode is. I'm Colwen. This has been Buzzworthy Bumblebee, Cybertronian Bumblebee. I think it's a fun figure. Try and pick them up for less than $25. Maybe get them on clearance for about $15 to $20. Even then, I think you're paying a bit much for him, but still, a nice bumblebee is a nice bumblebee. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.